perfect.
It is. Yeah, it is really drafted there, Rick.
That up there across from Allen, it's Shrewsbury.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Everybody can't be an electrician.
We call this July 21st, 2026 meeting of the Union County Land Use Board into session. If everyone will please stand. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Mr. Davis is going to lead us in prayer.
Let's bow, please. Our Father, Lord, we just thank you for the privilege of being here tonight. And Lord, I pray that you'll be with us to give us wisdom and knowledge to say do the right things and make the right decisions to benefit the citizens of Union County, Lord. Lord, we just thank you for this board. Thank you for the ones that are attending tonight. And Lord, we just thank you for the privilege of them being able to voice their opinions, whether it be for or against. And Lord, we just thank you for all the blessings bestowed upon us. Pray that you'll just watch over, care for us, protect us, lead, guide, and direct us in all we say and do. We ask these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, Mr. Davis, remain standing. Everyone else can see. Y'all can be seated. Sorry, just me and Mr. Davis. We have
We're
a
special.
duty to do.
Very special. Right hand up and on the
You're
Do
gonna
you
have to tie him
solemnly
up.
swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office as a member of the Union County Land Use Board, so help you God?
I do.
Do you solemnly and sincerely swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina, and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God?
I do.
And do you swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office as a member of the Union County Land Use Board according to the best of your skill and ability, according to law, so help you God?
I
I
do.
do.
Thank you.
Thank you. We did it.
We didn't mess up.
All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Darren Green. I'm chairman of the Land Use Board. Also with us today, Vice Chairman Rick Davis, member Derek Austin, Doug McClue, Mark Tilley, Charles Waltrip, Rick Marshfield, and who else down there at the end? I'm sorry. David.
Brooks.
David, I'm sorry. I didn't. Your name ain't on here, and I didn't see you down there. David Brooks is here also. Also present, Lee Jensen, who is our planning director and zoning director, Union County. John Ware, senior planner. Kelly Cope is the attorney for the Land Use Board, and Amy Griffin is our clerk. Our board hears multiple types of things, but there's three types of hearings that we hold: applications for variance from regulations in the zoning ordinance, appeals of decision from a zoning administrator, or an application for a special use permit. We also hear, we do now have the responsibility to review zoning changes, but that's a separate part of our responsibility. We have tonight a little bit of everything on our agenda. So I will move on to establish our voting members tonight, and we do have a regular member not present. So in order of the way we do things, we have two alternates, and one of those alternates will be serving as a full member tonight, and that's Mr. Marshall. You're next up on that, so that's why I had your name here, and I didn't have David's. Sorry. So, that explains that one. So that's our voting members. At this time, I would ask, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, I'd ask a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next item is approval of the minutes of the June 9th board meeting. Y'all have those in your packet. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, is there a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, move on to the agenda items. Before we do that, I believe Mr. Jensen would like to make a little statement. We've, like I said, we haven't been doing this, and we haven't done some of these things in a while, so I think you want to talk to us.
Yes, sir. So you have the first two items on your agenda. The first one's a special use permit, and the second one's a variance request. Those two items are quasi judicial. You don't have those very often. Normally, what you have are items like the third one, which are legislative. The difference in these two is in legislative, you're kind of have a little bit more freedom as far as how you make a decision and how you interact with applicants and things like that. For quasi judicial items, they are evidence-based. So it is not, so when you're asking questions, you're going to be looking at five findings of fact. You're going to be taking evidence. People are going to be sworn in. They're going to be providing testimony. It's much like a courtroom. So when you're asking questions, make sure that you're thinking about those findings of fact when you're asking those questions. Be thinking about those findings of fact when you're making your decision, and think about the evidence that you receive from people that are either in favor or against the application. Think about the evidence they're presenting, their sworn testimony and expert testimony when you're deliberating and making those decisions. It's also important to note that some types of communication between applicants and board members is sometimes not allowed. So it's called ex parte communication. So if you're talking to the applicants, it's good to go ahead and let everybody know that, and let the board know so they can decide whether or not you should sit as a member on that item. That's really all I've got. Kelly, do you have anything that you want to add?
Yeah, just along the lines of the ex parte communication, we want to make sure that nobody on the board is biased. The applicants are entitled to a fair hearing. So if you have some preconceived notion, if you have a knowledge of the matter before you in one way and your mind is already made up, then you need to disclose that as well. So just, Lee did a great job of laying that out. Just remember your findings of fact must reasonably support those 5 conclusions that you're required to make. And if you will remember, you will vote on each conclusion and whether that was met or not met at the end following your deliberations.
One more just quick thing. This is for you and folks in the audience. These 2 items, if you're the final decision maker on special use permits and variance requests, as you know, legislative items, you make a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners.
Right.
These first 2 items, you make the final decision. If somebody in the audience wanted to take that further, that would be in the form of appeal to North Carolina Superior Court.
Thank you both for that. I was going to just make the following statement for those who are here. All parties who plan on giving testimony, pro or con, must be sworn in, and you must fill out a green slip that's up there and give it to our clerk. Our planning staff is going to explain the permit and talk to us about the permit request or the variance request. The board will then question the planning staff member. The applicant may also question the staff member, and the applicant will then also present their case. The board may question the applicant. After the planning staff and persons in opposition may also then question or bring evidence. Again, this is evidence. The applicant may present sworn witnesses, and they may be subject to cross-examination. Other parties wishing to speak pro or con will be given reasonable time to present sworn testimony. They will be subject also to cross-examination. After the hearing, the case will review the case and the board will review the case and render a decision. This is usually done following the public hearing and the board's deliberation. However, the board may elect to take up to 30 days to render a decision. You may remain present during our deliberations. However, we will not take any testimony during our deliberations. Once it's closed, it's closed. You may also then call the planning department after the session to receive a written decision from the board. All exhibits must remain with the board. Please hand them to the clerk for tagging. Feel free, if you feel there is a conflict on our board for any reason, please let us know. We are, again, a quasi-judicial board for these first two cases. We can only accept sworn testimony. No hearsay evidence is admissible. And as Mr. Jensen said, appeal of our decision would have to go to the North Carolina Superior Court, Union County Superior Court. If you have any, you have 30 days from our decision to make that appeal. Remind everyone to turn off your cell phones. And that's all I believe I needed to share. Board, I would encourage you, if you don't understand something, that's why Mrs. Cope is here. And you feel free, obviously, as always, to say, hold on, if you see us wandering somewhere. All right. Okay, this time, the first item is a special use permit petition number 2026 SUP02. Property located 4707 Sugar and Wine Road, parcel 01-231-006S. This is a proposed amendment to special use permit 2014-005 for the addition of a parking lot. At this time, I'd ask staff to come up. Sir, is the petition complete?
Yes.
All right. Oh, and I do have to swear you in, don't I? I'm sorry. I forgot about it. It's been a long time since I had to do this. Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole matter, the whole truth in the matter at hand?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Is the petition complete?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, is there any board member who has a conflict with this case? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to hear the petition.
Make a motion.
Motion and a second.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? At this time, I also have to ask if there's anyone who has an interest in this case that would like to request a continuance. Okay. Yeah. All right. Hearing none, let us know what you think, Mr. Ware.
Okay. So, yes, for evidence, when entering three exhibits, the Union County Development Ordinance, the agenda packet, and the site plan, which is included in the agenda packet. So the property is located at 4707 Sugar and Wine Road, and more specifically identified by parcel number 01231-006S. Owner is Sunset Ridge Estates, Tatiana Katsulam, did I pronounce that correctly? And she is the applicant and agent. The property is currently zoned RA40. So this isn't a special use permit to have the wedding venue. The wedding venue has actually previously been approved. It was approved on October 13th, 2014 to Fred and Lynn Nader. That was special use permit 2014-005. So we're not here to discuss whether or not they can have the wedding venue. We're here to discuss whether or not they can have a parking lot. So just to narrow the scope of what we're discussing. I also want to point out this is a new owner. There was past owners that have created, I guess, a parking lot without approval. That parking lot has been removed by the new owner to be in compliance with our zoning ordinance. So when you see an ortho photo later, I'll point out where that old parking lot was.
I have a question. I remember when we approved that, wasn't the parking lot approved to be in a grass area to one side of the venue?
Yeah, so the original parking was just a grass
Okay,
area.
all right.
Yeah, so, and then there was, I guess, a parking lot, asphalt parking lot completed within the right-of-way as well as a fountain. And the current owner did go in and remove those things to be in compliance. So this is a special use permit. The proposed facility, well, that's not right. This is an entertainment outdoor major. It requires a special use permit. Section 25.020-D6 of the Union County Development Ordinance defines entertainment outdoor major, if you wanted to look at the definition of that. Also, it's considered a major amendment because the parking lot itself is over 50 spaces, but just over, I think it's about 58 spaces, and 23,000 square feet. These are existing conditions. This is on the top left, you've got the Sunset Ridge house. On the right, you have north of the site, looking down Sugar and Wine Road, south of the site, and then opposite the site on the bottom right. This is an aerial of the site, but was taken in 2025. You can see in the top right corner that asphalt parking lot that was there previously that has now been removed. The fountain is this little round area right here below the parking lot. This is the new site plan, over 50 parking spaces. It's a gravel lot, it has landscaping around the perimeter. And that is the layout for that. It has a entrance way that heads into the area where they usually have a temporary tent. Current zoning is RA40. Everything around the property is RA40. Land use plan says this should be rural residential, as the wedding venues are allowed as a special use permit. It's in compliance with our land use plan. There's a development status. It shows most of the properties around the property are residential in nature or farmland. Environmental features, there's a stream that runs through the property. It's unnamed, and there is a pond in the back of the property. There is no average daily trip data for this road. Staff recommendation, it must comply with all local, state, and federal regulations, must comply with the Union County Development Ordinance, and must fully comply with the site-specific plan once approved through the county. You guys have any questions?
I'm just kind of curious. When this was approved, the parking area was approved at that same time or not?
I think when they did the original approval, they had just indicated that people would park in the grassed area to the right. Same area, general area, just they didn't have a parking lot.
So what has changed from then to now that they're having to have it rezoned?
Well,
A special use permit?
Right, it's just an amendment. So when you approved the original site, special use permit, you approved it as the site plan that was given to you, which included using the home and the tent area for wedding venue, and then that side area, the grassed area. So whenever there's an amendment to a special use permit like this, it has to go through the same kind of process to amend it.
Well, I was on the board at the time this was approved, and for some reason, I remember it distinctly. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of confused as to why they wanted it to be a grass area to begin with, because if it rained and all, they was concerned that they'd have to pull them in and out with equipment and all. We didn't understand why they didn't gravel it to begin with.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's just, in some cases you could make a minor amendment or make a change to a special use permit. But because of the ordinance defines this as over 50 spaces, that kind of categorizes it in a major amendment to a special use permit, which requires them to go through this same process.
So it's going to be gravel?
Yeah, it's gravel parking lot with landscaping.
Any other questions, Mr. Ware? I'm good. All right, thanks, sir. Okay, at this time, the applicant and anyone who would like to give evidence in favor of this petition, please come forward and be sworn. Anyone? No, do you want to give evidence in favor?
No.
Okay, then, not yet.
Okay,
No.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
You're fine.
Okay.
That's right. No problem. All right. If we get my little thing.
Well,
Okay,
you're
well,
speaking to the
I
mic.
need you to, I gotta swear you in
Do I
first.
need to? Sorry,
I have
it's
to
my
swear
first
you in.
time.
I have to swear you in first.
Okay.
Okay. Do you swear to tell, okay, put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter at hand?
I do.
Okay. Please state your name.
My name is Tatiana Katsalim. I am the new owner of the venue along with my husband. I'm here today representing the venue, Sunset Ridge Estate, regarding the special use permit. So we need the parking lot just to have our guests park safe and organized, in an organized way. When it rains, it gets really muddy, and the guests get their cars stuck in the grass and mud, but I'm here to comply with all the Union County requirements. We will add or make any adjustments needed.
Okay. Any questions?
I do have one question. Now, will she have specifications to go by for this parking lot, or does she just hire somebody to go out, okay, dig me a parking lot, put gravel on it? What are the specifications on this?
She has hired an engineer to design that plan that was previously, this plan here.
Okay.
She hired an Eagle Engineering to look at the ordinance and follow that and
Okay.
create this site plan.
Sounds good.
Great. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, anyone else? You may be seated.
Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this petition? In favor, okay. No one, okay, at this time, anyone who'd like to speak in opposition to the petition, please come forward and be sworn. Are you speaking too?
Yes.
All right, well, I need you to get a Bible. Come over to this side.
There's one
I
on
think
that
it's the
side.
left hand on the Bible.
Left hand on the Bible, right hand up.
I was,
It's okay.
sorry.
I'm American, I know how to do it.
I know, it's good. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter at hand?
Yes.
All right, okay. Thank you. You may please state your name, whoever's speaking first.
Diane.
Right here in front of the microphone, please.
Diane Jessen.
Yes, ma'am? Okay,
I'm her husband, Peter Justin.
okay.
Okay. First of all, the parking lot is already there. So I don't even know why we're having this discussion.
Okay, could I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Why are you in opposition of this parking lot when it's going to improve the quality of the facility?
No.
It's unsightly. We live next door. Okay, there's a field separating us, and then there's our house. We look out and we see a parking lot where it should be farmland, residential, and we're seeing a parking lot. Previously, you had talked about the paved parking lot. When it was a paved parking lot, we had young people spinning donuts and creating a smoke. I'm asthmatic, my son's asthmatic. It lingered for a good half hour.
Okay, ma'am, interrupt you. That's gone, so there's no need to
Okay,
bring that
that's
up
fine,
anymore.
but this is why I'm opposed to parking lot. This parking lot now is there. That's the whole thing that
But it doesn't
concern
meet
is-
county standards.
I'm sorry, say it again?
It does not meet the county standards.
It doesn't.
So that's the reason she's coming forward to get it corrected.
Right, because right now it is unsightly. She's tried, in her defense.
Yeah.
She has tried, it's not a personal thing, it's just unsightly.
But when you have 58 parking spots, and then you get 2 or 3 busloads of people, there's a lot of people over there.
Okay,
And-
but you do understand that this lady has a permit to have this venue, and there ain't nothing that can take place tonight that's gonna take that away from her.
Right.
Because we approved that in 2014.
As far as the amount of people that can be there?
The only thing here is the fact of a parking lot.
Right.
So the
Okay.
bottom line is, here's what you gotta make a decision on how you feel. Do you want mud in your road after it rains big and they have an event? Because they still can have that event, rain or not. Or do you want them to try to do something to keep your road not being muddy after the event? Because there's nothing gonna take place here tonight that's gonna take away any of her rights to have her event.
Well, there was no reason for us to come then. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. then.
Thank you,
Well,
sir.
it's already there.
Because
That
they
was
already-
our
they're-
main
They've already done
concern.
that before, and no one
And
did
we were,
anything about it. so-
nobody notified us.
and it was-
This is the
it's a
first
nightmare.
thing
It's
we've
a nightmare
heard.
living there because of it.
It is,
That's all.
it is.
So, it's useless.
And again,
I pay taxes, I live here, it's useless.
All right.
Yeah,
We
it's
understand.
already there. That's our main concern. There was no notification, there was nothing, this is the first in 14 years we've gotten any notification of anything.
This is the
We
first-
were never notified for a permit to even have the venue.
Does your land hook to her land?
Very, very close. There's a driveway.
If it don't hook to it, you're not gonna get the notice, so you don't
Yeah,
have to get
yeah,
one.
Yeah, it's only
I'm sorry,
a
say
buddy
that.
If
property.
your land don't butt against that land, you're not gonna get a notice.
It's right
Yeah,
next door.
It don't matter. If your land don't touch that land, the county don't give that notice.
But we do have a notice right here.
We did get a notice.
I'm talking about in 2014
Oh, I
that
don't
you're
know
talking
about
about you didn't get one.
Okay.
We've never gotten any kind of
Okay.
notice. This is the first one that we've gotten. And we are, like I said, we are right next door. Our land butts up. There is only a small little pasture separating our
And
land.
it's a vacant place. No one lives there.
Right, it's
And this is
just
the first time- This is the
farmland.
first time I've met this woman.
And
She's going by, but-
And I have nothing against her. I have nothing against her having a wedding venue, as long, the ones that she's had so far have been respectful. That's
So far.
fine, so far.
But I don't know about alcohol licensing and all that, but.
That's not our,
That-
that's not our
That's,
business.
I know that's not your
Yeah, right.
concern,
But
but it
that's
is
what goes
ours
on.
because we live there.
All right.
It's a wedding.
You have to understand that we do live
Right.
there.
Yes, well,
So
Yes,
we
ma'am,
are,
you made that real plain.
yes. ma'am.
okay,
We
but we
understand.
also have the traffic going back.
Right.
But it's already approved. so
Again, like we said, there's nothing we can do about
In,
that.
in 2014, I was on the board that approved that.
Mhm.
So
And-
unless I'm mistaken, that permit goes for that piece of property forever
Forever.
unless somebody changes it. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right, well,
Okay.
this, I mean,
It's
it's
a
just
done.
meaningless.
So
to
I think
continue.
what we're looking at tonight is, are we gonna have a parking lot with gravel that's designed and looks nice, or are we not? So that's our decision. So.
Yeah,
yep,
so
that's-
apparently what we say doesn't really matter
No,
because
not now. It's too late.
it's
Right.
right, because it's already there.
The bottom line is, we can't change it, is what I'm trying to tell you. It follows that piece of property to infinity unless somebody requests a different one that gets approved that overrides it. There's nothing nobody can do about it.
Yep,
You
Right.
mentioned notification, though. There's a sign that should be in front of that place that notifies that there's an action going on.
It's there.
Yes or no?
It is there.
no, okay.
Not that we've
What
seen
size,
it.
what size sign
What
is
sign
it?
is
would-
size?
Yeah.
And it states what?
There's a zoning,
States that there's
a
a
zoning matter,
zoning.
and who to call if you have questions.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Not-
Okay.
Should be right
not
in front of the venue.
All right,
Okay.
well,
All right.
thank
Well,
you.
Again,
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in opposition or in favor? All right, hearing none. Board, do y'all have any questions for anyone before we close?
Do not.
Yes, yes, sir.
General information, this thing was approved initially in 2014,
Yes, sir.
Correct.
so it was approved knowing there was going to be parking there,
Well, yeah,
Correct,
whether it was on the grass or not.
right.
right.
This lady, if she didn't do this, she would still have her wedding.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
and she'd have to call Ivan to come get, Eric to come get her.
Trying to get it up to some county standards that maybe we're not.
Absolutely, that's what I'm thinking.
Right, what she's trying to do is keep mud off the road and all that and have a nice, safe place for people to get in and out of their vehicle.
So if we didn't even approve this, she still got a vehicle.
She can have that leaden venue till somebody changes it to a different thing.
It'd be just money.
Yeah, right.
All right. Closing the public hearing. Board, we have a decision to make. We got 5 findings of fact. We're gonna go through each one of them. Number 1, the proposed use and development comply with the regulations and standards generally applicable within the zoning district and specifically applicable to the particular type of use. Obviously, it's already there, it's already been approved. We're just talking about a parking lot that's gonna hopefully meet the zoning requirements, and also provide a place for people to park, not in the grass. Doesn't appear to be anything against regulations or standards. Anybody got anything else? I like what they put here.
Looks good to me.
All in favor of this item meeting the requirement, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 2, proposed development will not materially endanger the public health or safety. And I believe it will actually improve it because it's gonna give people a place to park where they don't have to worry about spinning out of the grass, getting out of there. And again, what she said here looks good to me. Any other thing, anybody else need to add?
Well, she did mention about previously the smoke and stuff affecting.
Yeah, ain't no asphalt now, so you don't have to worry about that. It's only gravel, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Number 3, the proposed development will not substantially injure the value of a budding property or a public necessity. It's already there. It's just a parking lot. I don't see any reason why that would injure the property value.
Nope.
Make it better.
Yeah, all right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 4, the proposed development will be in harmony with the area in which it's located. It's just a parking lot. I mean,
Parking lot.
It's gonna be adequately
helping the-
landscaped?
It's actually helping it for the venue that's already there.
I agree. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 5, the proposed development will be in general conformity with the comprehensive plan. Again, it's already here. It's just a parking lot. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I would just submit that the findings of fact included in the applicant's filing being entered into evidence as our reason. If that's okay with everyone.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, what do I gotta do? Motion? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve this amendment to permit 2014-005 to allow the gravel parking lot as
Sure.
requested.
Is there a second?
So if you would like to add the staff recommended conditions to your motion, I know there's some discussion about the site-specific plan, and I would keep
Okay.
that as a condition.
I guess we're gonna do the must comply with all local, state, and federal regulations, and I'll put within the building of that parking lot. Must comply with Union County Development Ordinance and North Carolina Building Code, and must fully comply with the site-specific plan once approved through the county.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, you are free to go. You are approved.
Thank you.
You can stay if you'd like, but you're free to leave. Okay, our next item is, where is the next one? Oh, I gotta go flip back over here. Too many things here. We have a 2006-VAR-01. This is a variance request. Claude Austin Road, Jamie Christopher Taylor is the applicant. And is the petition complete?
Yes.
All right, does anyone on the board have a conflict?
Well, I can't, I mean, I'm not a voting member, but I'm a personal friend of the guy, so
So you say.
I know things about him y'all don't know.
Would the decision we make tonight have a financial impact on you?
No, but it might have something to do with our friendship.
Well, you're not voting, so. Oh, my goodness. All right, hearing none, is there a motion to hear the petition?
Make motion to hear.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Is there anyone here who would like to request a continuance of the hearing? Seeing none. All right, Mr. Ware, talk to us.
All right, once again, entering into evidence, Exhibit 1, 2, and 3, the Union County Development Ordinance, the agenda packet, and the site plan.
He's ours.
So the applicant, Jamie Christopher Taylor, is requesting a variance from Union County Development Ordinance Section 5.030, Lot and Building Regulations, and more specifically, as shown in Table 5.2, our District Lot and Building Regulations Conventional Development of the Union County Development Ordinance. The applicant is seeking relief of 2,974 square feet from the lot size requirements of 40,000 square feet. Property is located at 2013 Claude Austin Road, more specifically identified as parcel number 04063012E. Owner and applicant is Jamie Christopher Taylor, and the property is zoned RA40. So the applicant's requesting a variance from the minimum lot requirements due to an existing site-built single-family dwelling located on Claude Austin Road that also has had an existing manufactured home located toward the rear of the property for a number of years. According to the Union County zoning ordinance, you can't replace a non-conforming you can't replace a non-conforming manufactured home. You can only repair it. In this case, the manufactured home is in a state where they don't feel like they want to repair it, they want to replace it. This manufactured home itself is located too close to the side property line, and that's why they can't replace it. So in order to be able to place the manufactured home back on the property in a different spot, they were going to have to subdivide the property. So originally it was approved to be on the property, and now we no longer allow manufactured homes as ADUs or accessory dwelling units. So in order to do that, they had to subdivide the property into two lots. The lot now containing the proposed new manufactured home meets the standards of the ordinance. The older lot, which we'll call Lot 1, would have met the requirements, but now there's a right-of-way that has taken some property from them, so that lot is no longer going to meet that requirement. So just to get into the math, the proposed lot contains 0.92 acres, the new lot, or 40,000 square foot. The remaining lot, or front lot, contained approximately 1.07 acres, or 46,609 square feet acres, before the existing public right-of-way, which encompasses approximately 0.22 acres, or 9,583 square feet. After deducting the right-of-way area, the proposed front lot does not contain sufficient area to meet the minimum lot size requirements by the UDO at 0.85 acres, or 37,026 square feet. So it needs 40,000, it's only got 37,026.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The public right-of-way, what was it for?
So there's an existing road there. I guess at some point, the right-of-way was increased, and I don't know the year or when that would have happened.
But in other words, the increased part of the right-of-way has created this problem. Before the right-of-way was increased, it was fine.
It would, yeah, the lot would be 1.07 acres, yeah.
And so the right-of-way is an area that can't be built on unless it's something to do with the right-of-way, of course. So, there's nothing there that it's really infringing. Or there's nothing going to be put there that would infringe on it to be a problem.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
In other words, all it can be in that part is the right-of-way.
Yeah.
Not gonna be a structure. of
It's
any
not
kind.
gonna be
That would
anything
right.
put there that would bother the 40,000 square foot requirement to begin with.
Right.
Okay.
So existing conditions on the property, this top left is the site itself, it's the home. You can barely see it, but the existing manufactured home, I believe, is in the back right. Northeast of the site, going down the road, the Claude Austin Road is on the top right. Southwest of the site is on the bottom left, and then the opposite side of the site is on the bottom right.
So the purpose of this is just to replace it with a manufactured home?
Yeah, so if you're looking at this aerial, you have the existing home is 2013. 2015 is in the rear of the lot, so that's the existing manufactured home. It is not far enough from the setback to be able to stay, or to be able to be replaced where it is. So to bring another manufactured home back in, they're gonna have to put it in this kind of general area here in the middle of the lot. And so that's why we're essentially doing the variance, but this is the layout of the lot now. The zoning is RA 40, which requires the 40,000 square feet, surrounded by that as well. And this is the site plan. So if you're looking up here, you've got the original manufactured home up here in the top right corner. If you look here in this middle section, these are the new setbacks once the lot's divided. So the new manufactured home will be placed somewhere within these setbacks here.
Now, what's going to happen to the septic field repair area? Is it going to remain?
Yeah, that's where I guess this, the septic field for this
What I'm
lot.
saying is, though, it looks like when you was pointing it out, if they move the manufactured home forward, it would be in that area, but it's not. It's gonna be in front of that,
I would imagine so.
okay. It's not gonna be in the septic field, the repair,
Well, they wouldn't-
septic field repair area.
Right, they wouldn't be able to get approval for that.
Okay,
Um,
just ask.
So then you have the one-story brick home here. It's within its setbacks in the rear. The original setbacks are, I believe, shown here. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's another septic field. So you have the right-of-way here. It's taken up 0.22 acres. This addition here was 1.07 acres. So this is the new second lot that actually needs the variance for both lots to exist.
So both structures will be within the setback area, so we're not talking about a setback issue here.
No,
Okay.
no, this is a variance for lot size.
Lot size,
not a
right,
setback.
gotcha.
Just lot size, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a staff recommendation, as we would for other types of hearings. And then, just a reminder, findings and conclusions required for approval include these 5 things, which you gentlemen know, but they're up here for everyone else. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't.
Any questions?
I'll just make the comment, it seems like government regulations have created the problem, and not the property owners.
All right. Thank you, sir. This time, if the applicant or anyone who would like to speak in favor would come forward and be sworn.
I'm gonna get my money's worth on here.
Left hand on the Bible, raise your right. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter at hand?
I do.
All right, sir, please state your name
Jamie Taylor,
and your serial number.
serial number 1234586. I basically just wanted, a couple things. He mentioned the mobile home has been there for some years. It's been there almost 26 years. I'm not aware of when that new right-of-way was taken. I don't know if they have to inform you of that, but I've been there for 26 years and I've never received anything that they were doing that. So obviously it's happened since I have lived there, and I was not aware of it. So
You're living in the mobile home?
No, I
Or
live
in
in
the
the
residence?
house.
In the house,
My stepchildren live in the mobile home.
Okay.
Yes. So it's been there almost 26 years. Well, this month, been there 26 years. So that right-of-way is basically what has messed us up.
I understand.
So that's about all I have, so.
Okay.
So actually, this has not occurred by something you did,
No.
it's something that the state did?
Right.
Sure,
Right.
okay.
Right.
All right. Any questions? All right,
Okay.
this one. Sometimes I wonder why we have to do these things. Is there any other comments before we close?
Is there anyone speaking?
Anybody
against
need to
it?
speak? Anybody else want to speak? Big gallery out there. Somebody hiding. Okay, hearing none, we'll close the hearing. Board, we have to look at 5 things. These are different than the ones we looked at with the other case, so hang on and let's go. Number 1, the strict application of the ordinance will result in an unnecessary hardship, but is not necessary to conclude that strict application will prevent any reasonable use of the property. Obviously, the strict application of the ordinance will result in a hardship.
Yes.
And it's not of their doing, it's a property taken away from them by the state or somebody. Any,
I'm good with it.
you good with that?
I'm good with it.
I'm talking to our attorney, because she's the one.
Since, one question,
Yes.
since this is something that happened that's put him in a bad situation, has put him in unnecessary hardship. So he had no control over it.
Yeah, and if you look down, one of your findings or conclusions actually deals with if it was self-created.
Right.
So that one's kind of more geared towards that one. But yeah, I mean, when you're looking at it, an unnecessary burden, the fact that the right-of-way at some point is there, the property line goes to the center of the street. It was increased seemingly from the testimony. Not his doing. Otherwise, the parcel would comply with that if you didn't factor that in.
Yeah.
As well as at one point, it was permissible to have that mobile home there on the same lot as the other house.
And if they weren't changing it, it would still be, they're just having to upgrade because it's 26 years old and it's a
Correct.
manufactured home.
Right.
You have something, sir? You look like you were getting ready.
I just thought if they took a variance off people's property you already own, somebody had to pay you a little bit for it.
I would have thought so.
I haven't seen the check.
Well,
I think I'd check into it.
I absolutely will. All right, all in favor of this one being met, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 2, the hardship is unique to the subject property rather than common in the neighborhood or properties or general public. Clearly, it's a unique situation. The property was just fine as it is right now, and
Well,
I
it
would
is
say
unique to the property.
it is unique to the property because they lost some square footage there.
Yep.
All in favor of this being met, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Number 3, the hardship relates to conditions peculiar to the property, location, size, shape, topography, rather than personal circumstances of the applicant or owner of the subject property. Do we have to repeat this? That's pretty obvious because it's peculiar because, again, the applicant here, he didn't do anything to cause this. All right?
I'm good.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Number 4, the hardship is not a result of actions taken by the applicant, I feel like I'm repeating myself, or subject to the property owner, although the act of purchasing property, knowing that the variance may be needed or required, does not constitute a self-created hardship. 26 years he's been there, he didn't buy this knowing it was a problem, because it wasn't a problem when he bought it. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? By granting the variance, the spirit of this ordinance will be observed, public safety and welfare will be secured, and substantial justice will be done.
I agree.
Amen.
I'm good.
I agree.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Do I have a motion?
Motion we approve.
Have a second. So a motion and a second to approve the variance. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Y'all have a nice evening. Yeah.
Now, what about if I want to put a parking lot on it?
Yeah. We'll give you a special use permit. Come back and talk to us.
That will cost you, though.
All right,
Y'all have a
next.
good night. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
No. Well, because there's really no, there were no, the staff didn't have any recommendations. Because,
Was you
That-
just wanting to hear me talk more? Okay.
all right, we have a rezoning. Now we can go back to our not being
Regular
sworn stuff. Lee, would you like to be sworn in, just for old time's sake? Ms. Cope, you can leave if you want. I know you're running out. I can see you. It was nice to see you again.
Okay, well, I see your smile getting bigger,
We
too.
might see you at Christmas or sometime. Who knows when the next one comes along. All right, next item is a rezoning request, RZ 2026009 York. Case is rezone 26.06 acres on tax map 0403912, located US 601 from RA 40 to heavy industrial, straight rezoning, and there is no site plan or conditions associated with the request. Mr. Jensen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, you guys can take your quasi judicial hats off and put your legislative hat on. You're
Take your
just going to
robe
be
off.
making a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners on this one. I believe you already stated this, but this is a revision to the Union County zoning map. The applicant is requested to rezone a parcel of land of about 26 acres, appearing on the tax map as parcel 040391012. That's along 601 South Monroe, from RA 40 to heavy industrial. And again, Mr. Green, you already stated this, but because this is a straight rezoning request, there are no conditions or site plan associated with this request. This is not conditional. So this is just straight up going to RA 40 to heavy industrial. Existing.
Do we get a glimpse into what the plan is?
You can ask, but when there is no plan, but you can ask the applicant, which I don't believe the applicant's actually here. But if the applicant was here, you could ask, but when you consider this rezoning request as a straight rezoning, you need to consider everything that can happen in heavy industrial. If you want, I could bring up.
That's what I'm sitting here thinking. I mean, you're going to a highly extreme request here and
Yeah.
sort of a shot in the dark at what's gonna happen.
Right. So, and I can bring, if you want, when you're deliberating on that, I can bring up the table of uses and kind of go through that so you can look at them if you want.
Okay.
So conditions on the site, top kind of left corner, that is that's a gravel driveway that goes back into the property. So that you're looking at the property off of 601 right there. The top right, that's 601. That's looking back toward Monroe. This is pretty far south down 601, but this is looking back toward Monroe. Bottom left, that's looking across the street, some old farm equipment or a farm building over there. And then the one on the bottom right, that's looking south on 601, going toward Pageland. As far as the development on the property you can see there's some development that's occurred on the property. I'll talk about that in just a second. But for the most part, everything around the property is fairly agricultural. It's a pretty large lot, a lot of farms. Even the houses that are out there on mostly larger than 1 acre lot sizes. There are some commercial developments down at the corner of Hargett Road. I think there's a truck stop down there, and I think there's something else. So a couple of commercial developments, but for the most part, large lot, residential and agricultural. Some of the uses that are currently on that site, you can see, if you look sort of, I guess looking west on that property toward the back, so kind of opposite Pageland Highway, you see some kind of debris that's kind of stacked up there. I'll circle it. Kind of this area right here, some clearing and some debris. A number of years ago, there was a complaint that came in for illegal storage of debris. So that was a violation, did rise to a violation. That case was closed out because the applicant did file a reclamation landfill 1 acre or less, which isn't allowed, that isn't allowed use in RA 40. So the applicant did that. However, in reviewing this rezoning application, where some of this debris is actually piled up doesn't appear to match the area, because when you have a reclamation landfill, you're required to have a map that goes along with that. You have to record that so future buyers of that property know where that debris is, because you don't want to build a house on top of it. So it doesn't appear that is in the same spot where they said it was going to be. In fact, and you'll see this in a minute, it looks like some of that may be actually in the flood zone. Yes, sir.
Got a question about this. With this brush and stuff being piled there, are they in compliance with burning stumps and burning trash there?
So I understand that that's also an issue that was raised
big
with,
issue.
with environmental health and possibly the state of North Carolina. I actually just found out about that, talking to one of the gentlemen, this gentleman. So I just found out about that. I will follow up on that. I didn't know about, because that's not something that falls under our purview, but it could fall under Diener. So I will find out about that as well. I also understand that there may be some, and I found this out tonight as well, some of the dumping may not be reclamation landfill type material. Reclamation landfill material is pretty much limited to dirt, stumps. It's a stump dump. You guys have heard what a stump dump is. Rocks, crushed up concrete, stumps, trees, dirt, stuff like that. Stuff that is non-toxic. It'll break down in the ground over time. I understand that there possibly could be some other material out there that doesn't meet that standard. That's going to be something we're going to have to follow up on as well. The other issue that we noted during the rezoning review, and we've opened up cases on these, so we are working toward trying to get compliance, are these two parking areas. So those were not permitted. They were just built, and you can actually see some heavy equipment being stored on that property, which is not, I mean, this is RA40, so it's a residential agricultural zoning district. It's not zoned for industrial or any type of commercial activity right now, but it looks like there might be some commercial activity taking place.
Well, I know in the last few weeks, there's been less trucks parked there than what was being parked there.
Yeah, I understand. But I just wanted you to know that. I don't want to leave anything out. So, let me move on. Environmental features, this is where I was telling you can see the flood hazard area, that's in blue, and then you can see where it looks like some of that material is encroaching into the flood hazard area. Otherwise, there's no other environmental features on that particular property.
Well, if you don't mind, what area, go back to that, what area was the 1 acre supposed to be in?
It was close to this, so it was kind of right up to the edge of that floodplain.
Gotcha.
So, but it kind of was, if you want to take that, where that debris is and kind of rotate it sort of 90 degrees, that's where it was supposed to be.
Mr. Jensen, is there a reason the person requesting this is not here tonight to answer some questions?
I'm not sure. They would have gotten a notice and they would have known that this hearing, or this meeting was tonight, so I'm not sure why they're not here.
Well, personally, I don't know how the rest of you, but I feel concerned about this because I live down there.
Sure.
And I know what's going on down there.
Sure.
And I see it, and if we go ahead and do give a referral to the commissioners to rezone this, is that going to open him up to do more? I would feel a lot more comfortable
So let me.
That's
let's-
my
let's-
question.
if he would be here to talk to us and tell us.
If we rezoned this, would that then negate any type of investigation that you guys are doing for what it's currently zoned at right now that might be violations of what he's doing? Is that?
Potentially there are some standards that you have to comply with for a parking area, so that could potentially get partially resolved. The floodplain issue, no, that it wouldn't resolve that. Mainly because it's administered at the local level, but they're federal rules, and you can't put material in the floodplain. So that would have to be removed, regardless of what happened on the rezoning.
I would feel better, you said you guys are going to have to check into it. I would feel better about this if you guys could check into it.
Well, let me do this. Let me get through let me run through the presentation just so
Okay.
you get the background, and then I was actually gonna. I think you do have somebody here that wants to speak. Maybe take some comments, and then I can give you some thoughts on what you might could do.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Zoning in the area, again, this kind of goes that land use is RA40, so large lot residential, agricultural uses in the area. You do see a couple of commercial districts down by the corner. You see the truck stop, been there for a long time, Zone B4. And then catty corner to that, I believe that's the Dollar General that was rezoned, just a few months ago.
Right.
No anticipated improvements to the network, to the transportation network in there. As you know, 601 was done, seems recent to me, but I've been here for a real long time, so it was done a while back, but it was upgraded from a 2-lane to a 4-lane facility. Do have a traffic count, about 14,000 vehicle trips a day. That was a 2024 average daily traffic count from DOT.
It's probably doubled now.
As far as land use goes, it is an employment corridor. There is an underlying rural residential designation on this as well, but there is that employment corridor overlay. Because it's commercial and industrial in nature, public schools were not consulted for comments, and water and sewer are not available to the site. Since this is straight rezoning, community meeting was not required, one was not held, not received any comments. And because of the distance, closest town in North Carolina to this is Monroe. Because of the distance, we did not consult Monroe. We did not consult Pageland since they're in South Carolina. Kind of go through this just really quick, kind of summarize. There's a lot of words on this page. So the comprehensive plan does identify this area as an employment overlay. The plan provides that a variety of uses may be appropriate along that employment corridor. Some of those uses would be distribution, logistics, aeronautics, industrial, and agribusiness. So that rezoning would allow for a lot of those uses that are contemplated. However, when you're making your decision, I would note you should take in, since this is a straight rezoning, you should take into consideration all the uses that would be allowed in heavy industrial. The proposed use is consistent with the rural land use plan. Primarily that rural land use plan didn't necessarily change any of the recommendations in this area from the 2050 plans, that this kind of stayed in place. That's why it's considered to be consistent. It's not a small tract for kind of the general area, so it's reasonable in size for many of the uses that are allowed in heavy industrial. It's also located about a quarter of a mile from properties that are already zoned for business and commercial use. And then negatives, again, there's a lot of stuff that's allowed in heavy industrial. So when you're looking to make your recommendation to the board, consider all those uses that are allowed and not just what somebody might, because again, this is not a conditional rezoning. So, you know, depending, somebody could get up here and say, well, I'm going to open up a agricultural logistics center, and you couldn't hold them to it because it's not conditional. This is a straight rezoning. Rick, did you have a question?
I just had a comment for the gentleman on the board. We're talking about potential uses. We don't know what the potential use is.
Right.
He's asking for it, but we have no clue what it is, and he's not here to tell us what he's thinking, so.
Well, actually, his applications to his project description or intent to sell as commercial property is what he put on the application.
That's what was.
That could be anything then.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you do realize right beside of that property is an endangered species area. There's Bigfoots and bears and all hanging on that fence.
If his intent is to sell as a commercial, would he not
They
want to
sunflower
zone
and
it
they
as some sort of
55
commercial
gallon
space?
barrels too.
Could
As
be,
opposed to
right,
heavy
right.
industrial?
Right.
okay. Carry on, sorry.
So that's fine. Most uses under heavy industrial would require some sort of driveway permit from NCDOT to access 601. I failed to know earlier that the driveway that's been built did not get an NCDOT driveway permit. We did inform NCDOT of that. I'm not sure what their process is to correct it, but and that's important on all roads because access is relatively important when you're talking about other uses that cause more traffic taking access to a road. 601 is a little bit more important because it's a high-speed road and it's sort of controlled access. They only allow driveway cuts every so often on 601, mainly because it's high speeds, 4-lane corridor, and you know what 601 used to be called a long time ago. So we're not sure if a driveway permit would be granted at this location, that'd be completely up to DOT and what the future use might be, which again, we don't know at this point. Public water is not available at this site. So again, since the applicant is not here, you sort of have the option to, again, I think we do have a gentleman here that would like to make some comments, but you do have the option to table this. So if you want to table it, you don't have to make a recommendation tonight. You do have another meeting to kind of weigh on this, and that fits in your time frame of the amount of time you've got. So if you want to take this gentleman's comments and then kind of want to think about it, if you wanted to delay it, you could, and we would basically just communicate that to the applicant and say, hey, you need to come back in August.
I'd like to hear what Randall's got to say.
The thing that bothers me is the way the property's being used is out of compliance now. As far as the driveway.
Yep.
The driveway that was there, he moved it. The fence that the DOT put up to regulate that, he took all that down.
Right.
And moved it. So it's giving me the indication that he's just kind of doing what he wants to with what he's got, with no occurrence coming back on it. I can't agree with that.
Right.
I would like to make a recommendation, well, listen to him, what his comments are, and make a recommendation to table it, till the owner can come in and talk to us about it.
I'd actually
And-
recommend to deny it.
And I think it's a major omission not to get community input.
Yeah, we usually recommend that people do that. It's required on a conditional rezoning. On a straight rezoning, they're not required to, but we generally will tell people,
Well,
you need to go talk to your
I
neighbors.
think it ought to be.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear from Mr. Fry. You don't have to swear.
No.
No, not for this part.
Not on this one.
All right, my name's
I
Larry
asked you
Fry.
not to lie, though, but you don't have to swear.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I live right
And you're-
behind the
state your
truck
full-
stop.
If you could just state your full name, please.
All right, my name is Larry Wayne Fry.
Okay, I'm your friend.
I live on Hargett Road,
Yes, sir.
which is right behind the truck stop.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you can see your property
Yep.
from there.
My property is right here, if you can see that arrow.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This man, in the past, I have reported to environmental health, burning, insulation, house materials, asphalt, shingles. My wife now has breathing issues. It may not contribute to it, but it probably didn't help it. Now she has COPD. This man, when he was reported, and my neighbor also reported what was going on, it was investigated. And I think he got fined or he got a serious talking to. Now, if this is approved for heavy industrial, what is he gonna be allowed to do? Because I cannot, when he was burning it 3.5 years ago, could not go outside at night because that was the only time he would set it on fire. So nobody could see it. All the stuff would be all over your cars. You had to wash your cars every day. Every day. And I said, I finally got tired of it, and I said, my neighbor Rodney Perkins reported to environmental health. I reported, and I told him about my wife's health issues, and I said, this is not helping. It cannot be in the law book that he's allowed to burn this. Can't. I heard he was burying appliances back there. Well, if that's what is going on at the landfill, let them go somewhere else. And besides, Bigfoot, they are panthers back there. I've witnessed them. They are bears back there. A lot of deer. So I don't know what this man's doing to the environment, but I know I'm within a half a mile of it. And my neighbor Rodney, he can go back there to back at his property, which is wherever this arrow is. His property is all back here, right here. Joins that property. He said he could see it burn, flames up in the sky. He would not burn it in the daytime. Why? Because he did not want to see the stuff flying through the air. So my concern is, heavy industrial, is he going to be allowed to do anything? Burn, bury, whatever he's going to do without being
answers for it? That's my questions. And I hope y'all continue this. I was hoping he was gonna be here, because I want to hear his answers why he was burning it and how he was getting by with it. That's my concerns.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It would be my, I would have obviously I would not in any way, shape, or form support this tonight, but
Nope.
I have a hard problem sending anything to the commissioners without, because I feel like we don't know nothing. I have a hard time sending
I think
a
if he
recommendation
doesn't-
to
If
it.
he doesn't show up, we don't need to do anything with it.
I feel like he had the opportunity to show up.
Yeah, I agree, but I feel like the commissioners, we owe them a little more time to, because I want to know more about what's going on. I think we kind of need some investigation going on to see what's happening out there. And I want to see him, I don't want to send it to commissioners, and basically, we're going to send it to them, we don't know. We just say, don't do it, but we don't know why. It's just because he didn't show up. I mean, I feel like we need more. What do y'all think?
I'll agree with you.
I just don't want to make a decision.
I
agree
think,
with
I
you.
think that rezoning it to what they're wanting would just pretty much be a blank check for somebody to do whatever they wanted.
I agree.
And I don't go along with that at all,
I agree.
not with all the things that fall
Also,
under this.
Mr. Jensen.
The zoning application says commercial property.
Yeah.
He's not asking to rezone as commercial, he's asking to rezone as industrial. And I say we deny industrial right off the bat because he didn't ask for industrial on the application.
Would it be better for us to table it or just deny it?
Be up to y'all. You know, if you don't think that heavy industrial is the proper zoning for the property, then you could go ahead and make a recommendation to deny it
I don't
tonight.
think that-
Or if you wanted to wait to hear what the applicant had to say, then you could table it till the next meeting. I will caution that it is a straight rezoning. So whatever's allowed in heavy industrial, if it was ultimately approved, would be allowed.
All right, here's my problem with not just going ahead and denying it. He stated on there, where'd you see that you read that?
You talking about the commercial on the application?
Yeah, basically that he wanted it rezoned to sell it correctly?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, absolutely. It's on the application,
Okay, well,
right here.
yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
that's what we.
All right. You're laying a blank thing out there for him to sell to somebody to basically do whatever they want that falls in that standard. And I think that we and the commissioners and everybody else that has anything to say about it owes it to the residents of the county to be a better steward of what comes in their backyard. And not knowing is not acceptable.
My issue with the whole process is he's already misled what his purpose was already for what he was going to use it for. And so, and I don't mean any disrespect to him, but I don't know if I could trust him if he would come in here and tell us what he was going to do with it. That's my issue.
I don't think the property, regardless of what he chooses to use it for, should be industrial. There's no other industrial properties, at least in the pictures that we're looking at here. And he's asking for commercial. Let him reapply to change it to commercial, but I say we deny industrial.
I'll agree with you.
Well,
Yeah.
I agree, but I want y'all to understand something. We don't make this decision.
Oh, I know.
I got-
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
referring to commissioners, and three commissioners could say,
Yeah.
well, what did they talk about? Well, we talked about the fact we don't like it, but we really didn't get no, I just don't feel like we got enough stuff. I mean, obviously, I think we should deny it, but if three commissioners.
I feel like
But
the
if
man
three
came here and told us
commissioners agree,
everything he needed us to
They're gonna do
know.
it, we're gonna be sitting here going, wow, we didn't think.
Would it be helpful if I pulled up the use table so you could see?
Not for me, no, not right now,
Okay,
because
all right.
I don't think there's a use out there for it myself, but I'm just saying.
Oh, no, I mean, so you can see what.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just.
I mean, here's the whole thing. You got a piece of property here, beautiful piece of property. You got a dump in the back. You've got fill in the front that wasn't done right. There's nothing about this really, from what you said, that was done right.
Right.
So if you give it the zoning he's asking for, there ain't a whole lot that could go on there that we would consider something that would work on that corridor. You're gonna be you'd have to put a cement plan, asphalt plan, or something like that in there in the conditions that it's been already given to the property by him. You know what I mean? So, the options of what could be put on that piece of property right now is probably not something people want in that area right now.
Well, I think the issue is, are we going to recommend denial, or are we going to ask to table it for right now to get more
Can we
information?
table it?
I would say at least,
I just think we better be careful sending it to commissioners until we look a little deeper into it. I'm just,
So would you recommend tabling it till we get more information?
yeah, I
At
would
least
be
try
in
to get some
favor
more
of that.
information.
If this was a private property owner, that would be one thing.
I know.
But
I'm
since
just saying.
this is a
I wanna send
real
it.
estate owner
I
here,
understand what you're saying.
then
the
that's a whole
property-
different thing. Do we even know anything else about the reputation of this company? I'd
This
like to
doesn't-
know more about that.
I feel like we need to dig a little deeper because
I'll agree with you.
Do you want to table it for?
I would like to table it and
Well,
let's
I mean,
talk.
bottom line is,
It might not change, I don't know, I'm just saying, I think
Right.
if we send it to commissioners now, we're sending it with just basically, we don't like it, but we need more
well, if the applicant was really wanting something done, they'd have been here.
well, I agree.
But I think they just want to, yeah.
I'm just not comfortable sending it to commissioners like this.
Yeah, let's table it.
I make a motion, we table it.
We have a second?
Let's do it for, maybe for like 30 days. I think it'd be good to, or
Okay.
Till our next-
table it till your next regular
Table till the
meeting.
next meeting.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy to, okay. Is there a second?
I did.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Jensen.
Mr. Marshall, I'll talk to you in a little while. Okay, next item, I believe we have minor subdivision discussion. And that would be you too, Mr. Jensen.
Yes, sir.
And, sir, you could be back at our next meeting.
I'll be back next
All right,
month.
Thank you,
maybe
sir.
we'll get some
Hey.
more answers.
Hey, don't feed Bigfoot.
You know that, I'm gonna tell you, there's a Black Panther out there,
Oh, yeah, I've seen him too.
6 foot long, and he's got a 6 foot head. My neighbor Rodney shot a deer on his property about 4 years ago. When he come back, the panther was eating the deer. He turned his light back off, turned it on, the panther was coming to him. I told him, I said, I told you there was a panther back there.
Thank the
Anyway.
state of North Carolina, they set them out.
That's right, set them out for the deer population. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Jensen, talk to us about this minor
All
subdivision.
right, so I think last time we talked about it, but we only had 4 members. So I think the thought was to table it. So I think we've got a pretty good board here tonight.
All right.
So three things to kind of talk about. One, the discussion of the UDO definition of lot. 2, discussion of major and minor threshold, lot threshold, and the parent parcel date. And 3, you wanted some information on family subdivisions. Last month, we did talk about this definition a lot, and the board did take a vote on to leave this the same. However, subsequent discussion, you sort of said on the other 2, well, we don't have enough people here to really think these through. We want to have a fuller board. So you asked me to bring this back. So I brought all of them back, but just to reiterate, there was some discussion around this, and there was a motion and a vote taken to leave this the same. So do you want to reopen discussion on this, or do you not, or do you just want to move on to the next one?
I'm gonna give you my opinion on it. I think the commissioners needs to decide what they wanna do in this case. But I struggle with it because I get what they're saying. I get that they're wanting to do all they can to control housing because the municipalities are out of control. But I personally think we've got some small builders in this county that has helped build this county from the ground level, and I don't necessarily agree with kicking them in the head. But then again, like I said, I understand they're wanting to control the housing and the amount of people coming in. I get it. But I think it's a slippery slope of whatever decision we make in a quasi-judicial or anything, we have finding of facts. And one of the things that we cannot do in finding of facts is to reduce the value on a neighboring property with anything we approve. Well, the way I look at it, I'm not pro-builders. I don't even really know a builder. But I know that the majority of the farmers, and I know a lot of them because I grew up in a farm family, and most farmers raise their children to not be farmers. They want to educate them and send them on. Now, some of them may educate them and make better farmers. But some of them don't want to be farmers. Some of them want to sell their land. They don't want to follow their family footprint. And a lot of these rulings that we're talking about would hurt what they could get out of the property if they sold it. In other words, if you lessen the amount that can be done with it. And all I'm saying is, it's a slippery slope of what we take away from people that aren't really and truly, they're not the problem to begin with. It's the fact when you put 400 homes in a little bitty parcel on the side of an interstate over here that would have been a great commercial corridor to keep the traffic off of our 74. But no, we stuck housing on every exit, and it was done by every municipality down through there. And that would have been the perfect place to have put the industrial parks and everything else to where you'd have kept the truck traffic out. It would eliminate a lot of the problems. And all I'm saying is, whether you build 5 houses or 8 houses on a parcel is not going to affect the problem Union County has. Because the people that's creating the housing problem in Union County are not controlled by this Board of Commissioners that's sitting here today. It's the municipalities that's already created this that they have no control over. And that's just my opinion on it, and I just think the commissioners need to say what they want and give guidance.
Anybody else?
So what I'm looking for here is, this doesn't have to be a vote. Last time, there was a vote taken to leave the definition of the lot the same, not change it by this board. And I'm wondering if you're okay with that, or if you want to reopen that for discussion for the same reasons that you wanted me to bring the other 2 items back. So if you're fine with moving on to the next one, just some head nods is fine, and I'll be quiet and I'll just move on.
I'm okay with leaving it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
move
you're
on.
fine. Okay, I'll move on. Sounds like, okay. So,
As far as the family subdivision,
well, that's the last one. So let me do, so the next one on here is major versus, this is a lot threshold thing. And this is just feedback. You had asked me to go back and pull some data from some other counties, and that's what I did.
Okay.
So currently, as y'all, we've talked about this a number of times, a minor subdivision in Union County is 8 lots out of the parent parcel. That parent parcel, is that created on that Valentine's Day 1978. That's when all the parent parcels became parents. And you can do 8 lots. Anything more than that, you want to do 9 lots, that's a major subdivision. Anything over 8 is major. So that's the current Union County definition. That's how you designate the two things. So we've got some peer counties that we typically look at. Normally, they are counties that are in our region, so like Gaston, Iredell, Stanley, or they're counties, and some of these rules apply to these guys as well, but could be counties that kind of act like Union County. So think about Johnston County, for example. They're right on the edge of Wake. They've got a lot of growth pressure, same type, dealing with a lot of the same issues that we are. So I tend to look at counties in those 2 buckets. So I'll go through these relatively quickly. Gaston County, their minor subdivision is 5 lots. Up to 5 lots is a minor, more than 5 lots is a major. You can't do any new infrastructure. So anytime you put new infrastructure in the ground, regardless of the number of lots, it's a major subdivision. And I missed that part. That's how our ordinance works too. So if you're putting in infrastructure, water, sewer lines, it's a major subdivision. Because there's all kinds, Public Works has to review a lot of information on that, so that's why it's major. Iredell County, no more than 5 lots. No new infrastructure. Stanley County, no more than 4 lots. Theirs is 4, or new infrastructure. Lincoln County, they allow it to 20 lots. But again, no new infrastructure. Cabarrus County is 5 lots, or no new infrastructure. Johnston County, theirs is a little unique. No more than 3 lots out of a parent tract within preceding 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. So essentially, theirs sort of resets every 5 years. They also don't allow any new infrastructure. Randolph, 3 lots, and you have to have access to a state-maintained road. That's pretty. Well, I guess most of our roads are state-maintained, so that's probably not as harsh as I thought it was. Davidson County, no more than 10 lots or new infrastructure. It's got to have access to a state-maintained road. That essentially means you can't have private drives. This is what that is. We allow those up to 2 lots. Chatham County, no more than 5 lots. Got to have access to an existing public street. It's kind of like saying a state-maintained road, but there could be a little bit of a difference if it's close to a town or something like that. Henderson County, a little bit different, kind of like, I think it was Johnston, no more than 10 lots in a 5-year period, so it kind of resets every 5 years. Pender County, no more than 10 lots. So that's it. We'll get into family subdivisions in a second. So the question the board asks you to sort of ponder and maybe come back with some sort of recommendation is, do you feel that the current language is fine, or should that minor subdivision be changed as far as the lot threshold is concerned?
I have a question.
Yes.
If you have a lot and all your stuff is, how would you say it? In other words,
road frontage.
Everything's good to build and you go to the major subdivision and all. As long as it meets all the proper standards and all, that's something staff does in-house, correct?
Yes.
It don't never come before us.
That's correct.
I don't have a problem with that number going down to 5.
The minor subdivision, the main difference is the minor subdivision is a lot faster. It's a faster process because it's minor. You don't have any infrastructure. You're not putting in water or sewer lines. You're not putting in a bunch of parking lots or trees or you're not doing any of that. It's just you're cutting out a couple lots up to 8. And it's relatively simple. Once you get into a major subdivision, things can get a little more, generally things can get a little more complicated.
Well, like my youngest daughter, they live over there off of Watson Church Road on a little development, Avis Lane there.
Okay, yeah.
Goes through there.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a major, correct?
That was a major subdivision, right.
I mean, that's a nice little place. It's a nice little area and the way it was set up, and there's not a lot of, I mean, I don't think there was a lot of undue stress put on a builder to make that a major subdivision rule. And I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah, I think they're all 1 acre lots. And,
Yeah, and I mean, but so I'm rethinking the 8, I would very much agree to 5.
I would agree to leave it to 8.
Well, and just so you know, you did, at a previous meeting, and this will be packaged and taken to the Board of Commissioners, you did recommend to change that parent parcel date to kind of a resetting.
Yeah,
Yes. So that's, I just want to point that out. You did already recommend to do that, so that will be something that'll be packaged. So at this point, we're really just talking about, is it 5, is it 8, is it 3, is it, yeah, what's the number?
But I mean, even if it was 5,
it
would go through, if it passed, we would also go through the reset to where later there'd be some more.
Correct, and that's a recommendation you've made.
Yes.
The board doesn't have to approve that, but yes, you've made that recommendation.
I'm still trying to understand the consequences now. What I heard you say a while ago was, okay, the minor, part of the definition of a minor subdivision is they don't have to have sewer, water, and stuff like that.
They're not extending it. So generally, yes, you're correct, but I don't want the board to get the wrong idea though. Let's say there's a water line already there. There's a water line already on the road.
Okay.
Then it's still, you know, and you're doing 5 lots, it would still be a minor subdivision because you're just tapping on that existing line. But if there was a line down the street and the developer wanted to extend that line, that would automatically kick it into a major subdivision. And that's basically because there's a lot of engineering review that has to take place for an extension of a water or sewer line. And there's engineering plans that have to be submitted. A minor subdivision is usually just a subdivision, like a plat that's submitted by a surveyor. So there's not a lot of detailed review that has to go into it. I mean, you're essentially looking to see, does it meet the minimum lot size? Does it meet the road frontage requirement? And that's pretty much it. So
I'm still trying to get a grip on what's the difference? What are the factors that make a difference between major and minor?
So, the factors, it's right now, the factor is if it's more than 8 lots, then it's a major subdivision. Now, the consequences of that are that it's a major is a 3-step review process. There's going to be, in some cases, there might be a few more requirements, such as like street trees, 30% open space.
You're talking about consequences. I'm still trying to get a grip on what constitutes a minor and what constitutes a major.
It's right in front of you on your screen.
Well, other than a number.
That's it. And that's what the board's asked you to look at.
Why does the number make a difference?
That was a policy that was put in place by the board back in 2014 when this ordinance was written. And this current board is asking, should that number change?
So what is the consequences between, if we say a minor is 5 subdivisions versus 8? What's the consequences?
If it was 5 versus 8, means if you put 8 on there and it was a 5 was the number, you would just have to do more things, more regulation there as far as the trees planted and things like that. Basically, you just making it more neighborhoodish.
And the big one John pointed out that I should have said, that should have been the first one I said. The major one's the 30% open space. So there is a provision. It came out of the 2050 plan, and there was some talk about it in the rural land use plan. It was kind of sort of reiterated in the rural land use plan that this idea of major subdivisions setting aside 30% open space was something that the community, Union County residents wanted. And this board recommended approval of the plan, then recommended approval of the text amendment, and the Board of County Commissioners adopted that text amendment. And that's a big one, because you've got to take 30% off the top and set it aside as common open space, can't be built on. That's a big one. So if you're a major subdivision, you automatically have to do it. I'm sorry, Rick, yeah.
It's not property that's owned by anybody in the subdivision, that is subdivision property,
Yeah.
but not owned by a resident living in the subdivision.
Correct. It'd be typically owned by homeowners association.
You have five properties, you know, you wouldn't be required to do that, but then when you hit that sixth threshold, or that seven, suddenly you're gonna lose a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, due to that open space requirement. So that's one of the things that
Yeah.
they're about.
Yeah, so if you lower that number, you're just saying that, you know, currently, if that ninth lot is gonna tip you into a major, so you can do up to 8 lots and not have to worry about 30% open space. If you change that number up or down, then you're just changing who's impacted. So if you lower it to 5, then somebody that wants to do 6 lots is having to do 30%. If you raise that number to 10, then somebody who does 11 lots is having to do 30%. So that's kind of the impact.
But
Well, my
realistic,
thing is, how is this interacting with family? Because to me, family property owners are an entirely different classification from a real estate company.
Sure. So we are going to talk about family subdivisions next. I mean, currently, there's no distinction. Currently, that's something that yeah, I know Union County's talked about it for years. And there's some reasons why it's never been adopted. And I'll kind of get into that when we talk about the family subdivision rule, but I am going to talk about the family subdivision thing next after this one.
all right. Well, realistically on this part, if you put it down to where 6 houses would be a major subdivision, and somebody had enough property to build 6 houses, then once the realtor sells the 6th house, they're done. They're gone. Right? Then you're gonna have a 30% open space there that 6 homeowners is gonna have to figure out how to keep up that 30% of the land they're left, which won't be that much. See, if you had 6 houses on acre lots, I mean, you're not talking about a huge amount of land. But that's why that's having a low number between a minor and a major. That's where the problem, because the rules that are set up in the major really were set up to help control these large developments, you know?
Yeah.
So the lower amount of houses you have in a major, in a way, the more burden you put on the homeowners in that development.
My biggest concern is the February 14th date, because that's almost 50 years ago. And to infinity and beyond, I think that's crazy to leave that there. It's just ridiculous in my opinion. I think there has to be a reset. I think we already talked about that.
You did, yeah.
But it doesn't matter, but the question is, you know, do we reset 8 more lots every time, or do we bring that number down?
Correct. That's basically why, because I think your amendment would reset it every, I think it was it 10 or 15 years? It was one of the two.
I
Well,
didn't know we come up with a
I didn't think
number.
we had.
We didn't come up with anything, I don't.
I didn't think we set that, but my thing is, it's been 8 for 50 almost.
Right.
So, I mean, I would not have a problem dropping it a little bit if we were going to do it regularly.
Right.
Instead of infinity and beyond like it is now.
And that's what you recommend, and actually, that's what, one of the original, when we first started talking about resetting that date, I think the first proposal that came up was resetting the date and then having that date then reset again. I think it was every 10 years, but then it dropped that number from 8 to 5. But then I think the ultimate recommendation was to leave it at 8 for now and reset it, but come back and talk about that number later.
Right.
And that's kind of what we're doing, so.
Because if you think about it, in 2028, it'll be 50 years. If you had a reset every 10 years, That's 5 times 8, that's 40. Not 8, that's a lot
Right,
more.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
do you want 40 over a period of 50 years, or do you want to drop it down to 5 and be 25 over 50 years? I mean, that's just this
Yeah,
thing,
Sure.
that's all I'm saying.
So I think we can all be in agreement that the reset date should be less, obviously, 10, 15 years, whatever we decide. I support going down to 5 for that,
If we do the reset,
if
yeah.
we're resetting every so often. I would like to take out the both sides of the road thing. If we stay up at 8, I don't want 16 houses on one tract, whereas if we go down to 5, I'd be fully supporting doing 5 on each side.
Okay, but I want to make a statement about this, and I've talked to Brian Helms and all this, and I understand their concern about this. But here's the whole thing that we're not taking into consideration. These are not lots that come before anybody to get approval to be built. These are by right lot. We're just putting numbers on it, right? So all they got to do, if the road goes down the middle of it, is make them major subdivisions and put them out if they make it that way, right?
Sure.
All you do is make a major subdivision. And what I've tried to explain, and all I'm getting is these developers, they're evil. They make all this money and charge these people all these money for these houses. That's what I'm hearing. But the bottom line is, in the end, the people that gets hurt are the citizens of Union County that choose to come here. Because number one, a developer is gonna charge what they want to anyway. And it's like a piece of candy in a store. It's there, you need to pay it or not. That's your choice. That's freedom of business in this country. It makes it a great place to live. And then what we don't take into consideration is when the builder builds up enough money, just like any other business, to cover their operating capital, and they don't have to tie the interest of a bank into the development of a piece of property, it actually helps them to sell that property to somebody cheaper because you've lost the interest that they've paid on it to develop it. And like I said, I mean, we can change the number to anything we want to. But the bottom line is, as long as that builder buys a piece of property that builds by right on the acre lots and all that, and they meet the major subdivision, you're not really changing nothing. You're just, the 8 and 8, I get it. We're looking at 16 homes put in Union County. Guess what? If it goes to a major and there's enough land on each side of the road, they might be 16 homes on each side of the road. If there's land there to do it.
Right.
We're not, the only thing we're doing by lowering this number is hurting the future members of the homeowners of the county. That's all you're doing. You're putting more money on them. Because like I said, the builders ain't gonna build a house and not make money on it.
My thoughts are to leave it at 8. That's all I'm saying. Y'all, we'll vote on it however y'all want to do it, but that's my thoughts on it.
But we need to change the reset.
Well, we'll
Yes,
agree to that.
absolutely.
That's
And
what we'll agree to.
you've already recommended
Yeah.
that, so that will go to the board.
As the person along with Amy who probably answers the most questions about subdivisions, I'd say that the date, the 1978 date change in that has infinitely more effect than the road division.
Right.
That
Sure.
comes up every now and then,
Sure.
but very rarely, and there's not a whole lot of roads, new roads get built. So
Right.
in the scheme of things, the 8 lots and the 1978 is a lot bigger impact than the road division.
I would not have a problem with changing the reset to 10 years and leaving it at 8 for now. But, let somebody else worry about it in 10 years. If I don't say infinity and beyond for 8, I mean, I think that's a lot for every 10 years. 8, 8, 8, 8. Like I said, that'd be 40 subdivisions over the last 50 years if it was every 10 years. That's significant in my opinion. And I don't think there's any family in the county that needed fit 40 lots subdivided. They got a lot of kids and grandkids that there is, over 50 years, but I think that definitely.
Can you imagine what a trip to McDonald's cost that grandma
I
and grandpa?
guarantee you, man. So I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I just feel like 8's a lot every 10 years. But if you want to do it 8 and say it's going to reset and you know,
My thoughts are still 8 in 10 years.
Here's.
That's just my
some-
thoughts.
I'm hearing some, I'm hearing a couple people say, leave it at 8. I'm hearing maybe lower it to 5.
Let's just vote on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Well,
looking for.
I mean,
I'm looking for.
I guess that's the question,
Let's compromise and say 7.
or compromise. Yeah, 6.5.
6.5.
That's it. I don't know if I can make that work.
Yeah, I guess if y'all want do we need a motion on this, I guess? Somebody wants to make a motion?
Yeah, that'd be easier than, I mean,
All right.
consensus would be okay, but I think a motion would be better. That way it's pretty
Okay.
clear.
I make a motion that it's 8 and 10.
I second it.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor of 8 and 10, say aye. Okay, so we got 3, all opposed? No. All right, 4-3 right now at 8 to 10.
Okay, so that motion failed. So then we'll need a subsequent.
I make a motion to reduce to 5, reset every 10 years.
5 and 10.
Have a motion to 5 every 10. Is there a second? Have a second. Okay? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. You made the motion, I just wondered if you was going to say. All opposed, all opposed. So it's tie, you didn't vote.
No, I'm straddling the fence here because
So
So
we didn't make no changes tonight.
Did you
All
vote?
right,
He
I'm
didn't
gonna
vote.
make a motion.
I'll go
We
ahead.
do 7 and see how that goes after 5 years.
5.
I would agree to 5 every 7 years. How about 5 every 7 years and reset every 7?
Make a motion.
I could see that working better. That'd be 10 every 14 versus
You're right.
8 every 10.
Make a motion.
I make a motion that we go 5 lots on the minor and reset every 7 years.
Is there a second? I'll second it. We might not win here, but I like that better than the other ones. All right, any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so that failed too.
Well, I did make a motion.
You didn't get a second, that's the thing.
I mean, you could always send it up. So you have this alternative. You could, I could, we have the Bennett's, I could write all these up and I could say, these are the ideas that were thrown out. However, the board couldn't come to any kind of consensus on these. And I could just give that to the board to say,
Reset years are the issue.
I like your
think 1 and
recommendation
5.
on that.
oh, hold on, I think
I'm
Rick's
sorry.
making a point.
I think 5, reducing the 5, 1. I say we send up with 5 and 8 with their recommendation to, we could not decide on the reset timeline. We all decided we want to reset. Obviously, we all want to reset. We couldn't come to consensus on the timeline. We did come to a majority on 5,
Mm-hmm.
and we came to a agreement on a reset. I said we send up to the board and say,
Was there majority on 5?
No, it wasn't majority.
Well, no, I think what he's saying is that there was a majority, the difference was, there were some folks that said 5 and 10 was fine, and then I think, then there were some folks that said 5 and 7
Yeah.
was fine,
Oh,
so.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I see
he's
what
saying
you're
that there was a
saying.
consensus on 5, but the disagreement was on the reset. So, yeah, so
Okay.
I think that's kind of what I was saying. I could take all this to the board and say, look, we couldn't come to a consensus or an agreement, but this is what the board kind of talked about. and then sort of give that to them and let them ponder that.
In other words, we're serving them a buffet of ideas.
You are.
Well, I think we're all agreeing we need to reset, obviously, but
Yes.
then, guys, we're somewhere between 5 and 8
Yeah.
on the reset.
You narrowed it down.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Gotten like,
I can,
Yeah.
I can,
like 10 hours at this.
Yeah.
You can either have the fried chicken or the boiled chicken, whatever it
Let's
is.
get some other ideas.
Okay. So I
can
can take that to them.
Thank you.
That's fine.
All right, is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. So last one here, family subdivisions. Charles, I think this is getting to what you want to talk about. So you wanted me to look at kind of the parameters that other counties, kind of same ideas as the major minor. You wanted me to look at what other peer counties did as far as family subdivisions. There weren't as many of these, and I'll get into that in a second. I think there were only 4 counties that I looked at that had family subdivision rules. And I'll talk about the why kind of when I get into this. But from what I did see, there's always a lineal descendant requirement. So that makes sense. It's for family. So usually it's from a parent to a child or vice versa. Or it could be to a grandparent to a grandchild or vice versa. There's a maximum, usually a maximum per year and or a maximum per lot of record or maximum number over a certain number of years. There's usually some road frontage and easement access requirements. That makes sense. You got to be able to get to the property. And there's some ownership requirements. And what that means is there's usually like a time period that whoever's getting that lot has to own
That's
it.
key,
So the 4 places, Gaston had some rules. You can do it to 5 lots under a minor subdivision standard. It's got to be at least 1 acre, and that's regardless of zoning district. So it doesn't matter if it's zoned R20, R40, R2, R1, whatever. It's got to be 1 acre minimum. It can go up or down 2 lineages, so that'd be, if I could give a lot to my grandparents, if they were still living, or if I had grandkids, which I don't, I could give a lot to my grandkids. They didn't have a road frontage requirement, but they had some access requirements, so you got to have at least an easement. And then whoever's getting that property has to own it for at least 3 years. Iredell County, they only allowed 1 lot, so you could get 1 lot under the family subdivision rules. Lot size is based on the zoning district. Immediate family members only, that's how they described it. There was no real definition of that. I would interpret that to mean immediate family, that'd be a parent giving it to a son or daughter or maybe grandparents. There's no road frontage requirement. Again, they have some basic access requirements. Theirs was also 3-year ownership.
So basically in Iredell County, if you got a brother and a sister, one of them get it and one of them can't get it. That's right. That's kind of mean.
Yeah.
Now, again, ain't gonna be no family reunions no more.
So again, I do want you to understand that this doesn't supersede or change like minor subdivision rules. This kind of adds to it. So if let's say you did that scenario. Let's say you had that. You could still likely give somebody else a lot. It would just have to fall under the minor subdivision. Yeah.
Okay.
So Stanley County, 1 conveyance per person. I thought that was an interesting way to kind of look at it. So every time you subdivide, that person can then further give property. Lot size based on the zoning district. It's got to be a child of the grantor, so it can only go 1 step down. There was no step up, or grandparent can't give a kid or give a grandkid a lot. It was only 1 step down. No road frontage requirement, and again, 3 years of ownership. And then Lincoln County was the last one, I believe. Yep. Lincoln County was the last one that had any kind of family subdivision exemption. You got 1 per tract. Lot size, again, based on zoning district, 2 lineages, no road frontage, and must own property for 3 years. Now, the reason you don't see more of these, there's a couple reasons. One is this is probably the bigger one. And I will give you a little bit of maybe a political science lesson here, but in North Carolina, we're considered what's called a Dillon's Rule state. So when it comes to local zoning rules, you're not allowed, counties, cities, whatever, you're not allowed to adopt any zoning rules that the state doesn't specifically authorize. That's why in counties you don't have impact fees, because the state hasn't said you can do them. There's a big court case on that Union County was part of. There is no exemption in the general statutes for a family subdivision. So it's not specifically authorized by statute. There are some counties, so these are 4 of them, that have kind of rolled the dice and said, well, we want to do this. And, you know, it's kind of like speeding. You can speed as long as you don't get caught and get a ticket. The problem here is and I'm not saying this is illegal or not. I don't know. It's never been litigated.
That's the thing you're saying, if
That's
somebody
the thing.
comes along and litigates it.
It could potentially
Yeah. Right.
be litigated, and because it's not specifically authorized, there's the potential that you could lose. Now, I'm not saying it is or isn't illegal. I'm not an attorney. It's never been litigated. But I know that's why a lot of places have never actually done this. The other issue is on sort of the enforcement side. And really, all these are pretty standard enforcement, like they're not a big deal, except for this idea of ownership. That is extremely difficult to enforce. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you were in one of these counties because I think all of these are 3 years, yeah. Any one of these counties, you have a rule that says once I give that lot to my kid, they've got to own it they have to own that for at least 3 years. Number one, there's no good way to track when it's sold. Properties get sold every day. It's done by deed. We don't see deeds. They're filed in the Register of Deeds office. Union County transfers tons of property a day. There's no way for us to go through every single transfer. And plus, I don't think you wouldn't want us doing that. You don't want us looking to see every single day, well, who dare sell his property to? So it's extremely hard to do. And then once it's done, it's done. It's hard to undo. So if somebody violates the ordinance, they violated the ordinance. So, you got to send them a notice, but that's a hard process to go through and actually undo. So that's why a lot of communities just haven't done this, because you want an ownership requirement, because you want to make sure it's not being abused. You don't want somebody to use the family exemption to go sell a lot to somebody else. So you want an ownership requirement, but that ownership requirement is extremely hard to enforce. So again, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But I want you to know the full story and why you don't see more places that have done this.
Well, I like the Gaston County, the way it's set up.
I would say that too, the places I've been,
1 acre
or lived,
minimum.
or not lived, but worked, the family subdivision access requirements primarily. So this would allow them, and these places didn't have a 2-driveway rule. So keep that in mind. The county already has like a 2-driveway. And you reset the parcel and you keep that 2-driveway rule. I don't even see this getting used for like 5 years. I mean, until,
You exhaust your,
you exhaust the
yeah.
lots of your driveways. So, I'm not sure if this will have a huge impact right away, especially if you reset
Parent parcel.
the parent parcel, because people will have that ability to do that 2-driveway. And these counties may not even have that option for the 2-driveway, so that may be one of the
Okay, but going back to my situation at the farm, how would the Gaston County work out for a situation such as that? I got 55 acres. I've got a...
You're landlocked, right?
I'm landlocked, but I do have right-of-way, a granted deed right-of-way. So...
So like in your case, like your specific, and that's the hard part about this, because you've got some of these rules, but then you start applying them to individual properties. like what Rick's talking about with his lot being landlocked, is 55 acres, so that's a lot of acres. Doesn't have any road frontage. So he could do 10-acre lots all day long.
Right.
So let's say you do five lots under the 10-acre exemption. Well, you're also allowed to do 2 lots on a private drive. So
That's correct.
you could do 2 lots, and then whatever's left over, do some 10-acre lots. You can get some lots that way, but then, your example, you're done after that. That's all you can do.
My issue is, if I were to give my grandson a lot to build a house on, then it's gotta be 10 acres. He can't even afford the house payments on a 1-acre lot.
Because you, have you divided your 2 1-acre lots out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, with giving, he would have to accept a 10-acre property, and he can't afford taxes on it, because he can't afford the price of the house on a half-acre or 1-acre lot. So that's limiting what we can do for him to try to help him get a family started. By doing this, would that still, the deeded right-of-way be allowed with 5 lots with just the 1 driveway?
Yeah, so they don't have a road frontage requirement.
That is
I mean,
correct.
Again, there'd be some minimum, our minimum standard on an easement is 20 feet, I believe, right now, so.
That's what
so
our
it'd have
easement
to be
is,
You know, it'd probably just revert back to the minimum easement width, which would be 20 feet. So you'd have to have 20-foot access
Sure.
easement. So that's how the family subdivision would
Well,
work, like in Gaston County. I don't know what their minimum easement width is, but if that were in Union County, that's how it would
Well,
work.
rather than set up something similar to these, what I would highly suggest is that we say families that have a certain amount of property, we'll say, to divide, simply present what their future, they would like to do with it, simply provide the county a description of that, then the county can simply talk to them about various facets, not a bunch of numeric lines to have to cross.
So when it comes to what we can actually regulate, and what we can administer, what you're talking about are subjective criteria. And we don't have, we're
Well,
not.
no, it's the property owner's criteria.
Well, but it's still subjective, because it's not written in, and I understand what you're saying, but it's not, we have the ability to only administer what's in that unified development ordinance. We can't go outside those boundaries. It's actually illegal for us to do that. We can't do it. The only people that can do that, now, you know, maybe the solution could be, and this would be very onerous, but the solution could be to have a master plan development district and have everyone treated as a rezoning. But that's going to be a lot of expense for property owners. And I'm just telling you, let me finish my statement so you can hopefully understand what I'm trying to say. So, because I really want you to hear what I'm saying. It is illegal for us, John, me, Bjorn, any of the staff, to enforce subjective rules. And that's what you're asking. You're talking about subjective rules. No matter how you want to say it, they're subjective. We have to administer objective criteria. That means things that are in a book, written down, open it up, point to it, and say, this is what it says. This is what the rule is. Anything outside of that, we can't do. The only people that can have subjective criteria would be you in a legislative capacity making a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. They would have to make a decision. That would be on every single property in a form of a rezoning. So you could have every single one of these go through a master plan development district rezoning and kind of create their own standards. But that's going to be a lot of expense. It's going to be a lot of time.
Trying to make.
Well, what does
And so what this is trying to do is make it easy for people.
All right, since you have to go by the UDO, what does the UDO already say about family subdivision?
There is nothing. That's why we're talking about it right now.
That's what we're trying to do.
So, gentlemen, do we want a family subdivision? Do we want that written in?
How else can
Well-
I use my property if we don't?
So you're a yes.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Is everybody else on the board a yes?
I'm absolutely yes.
Okay, so
I think.
we want a family subdivision. So that's where we're at right now. Everybody on the board wants to do a family subdivision.
Okay, so
Now
then we
have
can
to figure out-
specify.
We have to figure out what the regulations to the family subdivision are gonna be. I understand that you're landlocked, and you don't have no road frontage whatsoever.
Well, again.
That's
six-
the reason I said the
six-
Gaston County
The
looks
Gaston
good.
County looks
The
good.
problem
Gaston
with
County
the-
is a good,
I get that, but then, like we spoke about a couple times already, without having any kind of road to get into those houses. then
No, we do have a road.
emergency-
We do have.
Emergency is gonna have, or
We do have the
you may,
road.
somebody else may not.
Yeah.
And therefore, they're just gonna go out there and dig a path through the wood line to get to their property, and the emergency vehicles are not gonna be able to get to them.
I understand where you're coming
whatsoever if
from,
something
yeah.
happens.
But if they choose to do that, isn't that on them?
I agree.
Okay, well,
But if
I
they
mean,
don't-
if
but-
somebody wants to go live in the middle of the woods and 911 don't know how to get to them, that's their problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
until their family sues the city.
Would it
What
be
they gonna sue
possible-
about? They chose to be there.
Would it be
Where-
possible?
Where is the
You spill
taxpayers?
coffee on yourself, too.
But where's the taxpayer's responsibility to build them a major
I don't-
road
Well, I'm
where
not certain
they
we
won't
would.
I don't think
live?
it's a taxpayer.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can set the standard that it has to
Yeah.
be one, but we don't build it.
Right.
It has to be a certain, like
That's-
you've
that's
already
what I'm
built
saying.
yours.
It has to be something written down to say, if you're going to do that,
Yeah.
then you need to provide a road for emergency
Yeah,
services.
that could be
absolutely.
added to this Gaston
Right.
County.
I'll say
Where
the
I'm
only requirement we have today is it's gotta be 20 feet wide. The easement, the easement has to be 20 feet wide. We have no other construction standard beyond that. Like, there's nothing that says it has to have X number of, gravel or whatever. We don't-
Right, and I
that
mean,
doesn't-
there's still roads in Union County that our school buses go on that are gravel road.
Okay.
Could that be added to this?
What?
To where there was some kind of a specifications on what type of road it would be? On a 20-foot wide road?
I've seen 20-foot wide easement with an 18-foot, 15 or 18-foot gravel.
Problem in that, I will tell you, again, I'm gonna look at this maybe from your standpoint, Rick, is, because we're a county, we don't build or maintain roads.
No.
We don't have.
I'm not asking to bid it.
I know, I understand, but I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
So we don't build or maintain roads, therefore, we don't have road engineers or road inspectors to go out and inspect to make sure that if you're making a specification, we don't have somebody to go out and look at that to say
Understand.
it meets that standard. So then that's gonna revert back to the property owner to hire an engineer to say, this road, here's my statement that, and with my seal on it that says this road is built to your standard. Which that's how a lot of things happen today, but that engineer, and Doug's over there shaking his head because he knows, they charge a premium.
Oh, I understand where
for
you're
that
coming
seal.
from, what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it looks to me like we've got to do something.
Yeah, and if I'm fine, like if that's what you want to do, I just want you to understand that's how it would work.
Well, I mean, I don't understand why if you own a 20-foot right-of-way into your property, and we go by these guidelines up to 5 lots and all, I mean, realistically, the majority of the people would build a decent driveway into their house and a different
Correct.
maintain a road.
Correct.
And like you said, the county don't maintain roads and don't have that. I don't see, there's a lot of places in Union County right now that fall under the 20-foot right-of-way thing, and it works throughout the county. I don't understand why this one has to be different. You follow me?
Yeah.
I don't understand why we need to put some kind of regulation on this 20-foot because it's a family land.
I'm fine with just saying it's gotta be a 20-foot right of way.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah,
let it, I mean, at that point, you've got the right of way
I'm
for it.
thinking 2 generations up or down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like
Grandfathers can give to their grandkids.
grandkids,
They can
yeah.
have up to 8 to 10, some families are big. I'm not even opposed to having no limit as long as they are provable blood relatives and it's your property. I've never been against giving your property to your people.
I agree with
So
that, too.
two generations up or down, no max. Road frontage we spoke about already. I'm good with what you guys decide,
Acre minimum.
as long as it meets current zoning requirements. So you can't go into a area where you have to have an acre of land and say, I'm gonna split this up to my family, I'm gonna give them half an acre each. Sorry, that doesn't work for
Right,
us.
right.
You already have the regulation, it has to be an acre.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
So let me ask you, so you were saying you like Gaston County's rules, but what if it's an R20 zone property? Are you good, kind of the flip side of what you're saying, are you good with it being a 20,000, if it's R20, a 20,000 square foot lot? Or like Gaston County's is, it doesn't matter what zoning it is, it has to be an acre?
This is for a family, right? If the zoning area that they are in, that their property is in, is R20, then they're allowed to do R20.
Okay.
Okay, but now, wait a minute. Let's just say you got 5 acres of land.
Mhm. Only blood relatives.
I don't care for the blood or not, but if you got 5 acres of land, going by what you're saying there, you could actually put 5 houses on 2.5 acres of it, correct?
If it's R20?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why don't we just keep it at an acre minimum? You understand what I'm saying?
Because I feel like somebody's gonna be able to come back and fight that in court if you say.
Why?
You, because you're a family, you're only allowed to break it down by.
But we're setting this guideline up, and if we approve it and it goes that way,
I'm not saying
How much
somebody
R-
could or couldn't fight it.
How much R20 is there?
There's not a whole lot, but, I mean, there is some. And I'm not saying somebody couldn't challenge it, maybe they could. I mean, somebody could challenge the whole thing. I mean,
Right,
again, I said
absolutely.
it's not authorized
I
by
mean,
statute,
at
so.
that point, they could just do a minor subdivision, could they not? And say, okay, this isn't for family, I just wanna split it
Yeah,
up between
yeah.
5 people as a minor subdivision.
No, that's
Still
true.
skirts
Yeah.
the family thing.
But what,
So-
you're right.
and I will say, again, I'm not saying whether it will or won't hold up in court, but you are, so what this would be is an exemption to sort of the subdivision rules. So by providing the exemption, maybe you could say you could go bigger than
But
whatever the
he's
zone.
totally right what he just said. I mean, all they have to do is do the minor subdivision,
True.
isn't that?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I changed what I
Yeah.
said. I agree with you. It should be whatever the zoning is.
And my last thing for family subdivisions, will not fall under a major subdivision.
Yeah, it's an exemption, so
Will
yeah.
not fall under major subdivision rule, regardless of what's happening. It's your land, it's your family. Split it up how you see fit, as long as it
I agree.
meets our other requirements.
Because it's an exemption, it wouldn't even fall under the minor subdivision rules.
Right.
It's like, it's a completely separate category.
This is long past due, in my opinion.
Yes.
And
We're trying
again,
to
we
protect
can-
families, we want families to stay. This is the way to do it.
Yeah,
Nope. Nope. Right.
and we just demonstrated how we can go on endlessly about all these little details when, again, based on what you said, there is no UDO rules for this. We are making it.
That's right.
So I'm saying we should set a basic rule, not a lot of little details. The basic rule is family owners come up, have a plan. The county acts as an assessor of the plan and gives them feedback about it.
What you're doing here is you're coming up rules that apply to everybody, that fall under the family exemption category. And as long as you've come up with those rules that Rick's kind of dictated, I think, sort of like Gaston, maybe with a few little tweaks here and there, that's fine. We just you can't treat everybody differently.
Right. Do you really want a person that works for any government entity to be able to add their personal feelings into a decision that affects your family?
I would appreciate what they know.
Well, what if
In
they was
terms-
somebody that don't like you? I'm just saying.
I think
You're
it goes
trying
back
take
to the
all that
fact
out.
that you guys have to set a precedence to start with, so that 10 people can't come up, well, I want to give him this. You can't do that. You've got to have a precedence to start with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we need to move on here.
Yeah.
Let's make, do we need to make a motion
Well,
to
I
do
think
this?
Rick's kind of
I
laid
think
out.
he's laying out one, and I want to hear him read it, but
Yeah.
is that good?
Yep.
So if he could make the motion, Rick, if you want to make the motion?
I'd like to make a motion for family subdivision standards. Requirement number 1, it can only go up or down 2 generations within the family. Requirement number 2, no maximum on number of houses that you can, or number of subdivisions you can create, as long as it is within the family, up or down 2 generations. No road frontage requirement as long as it meets the minimum standard, and that is responsibility of the person who's building the houses or subdividing the land. Meets current zoning requirements in the area that the subdivision is created in, and this will not fall under any minor or major subdivision within that property.
Now, do you want ownership requirement?
3-year.
Again, they're hard to
I
enforce.
don't see the need for an ownership requirement, especially since divorces happen.
Yep.
Somebody's going to get that house in that divorce, or they're going to have to sell that property in the divorce. You can't stop that. So with that being said, I don't see a way for us to even enforce that standard in the first place.
It is very hard to enforce. I'll tell you the reason that a lot of people do it. It's to prevent folks from trying to goose the system. To say, like just throwing it out, if I was a developer and I gave each one, I had 5 kids, and I gave each one of my lot 5 kids, and they turned around the very next day and sold it to somebody that wasn't a family member. That's the reason that people do it. Again, it's hard to enforce, but that's the reason that they have that time period.
So you're saying it's better off to be there than not be there?
I'm not saying either way, because
Probably.
Gentlemen.
it's difficult to enforce. I think it just makes people feel better.
Okay, yeah.
Anybody have any ideas on that?
I think the lineages would take care of that.
Well, I don't know about that, though. Like he's saying, you might have, I mean, I'm not saying that there's a greedy guy out there, but if there's a developer out there and he gives all his grandkids a lot and they sell them.
I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying, it could happen.
For the purposes of my motion, I'll say 3 years.
3 years, I think that's a good
That's a
idea.
good idea.
I think it ought to be in there.
I think he just said.
He just
I think
said,
Rick just said
he's
3
adding it to
years.
his motion.
Okay.
To his motion.
All right, I'm good with that motion. Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
That would be so when they turn around and ask for a building permit or a zoning permit, and we put the 2 and 2 together,
Yeah.
it's just a family, so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we would find out.
right.
I think that's good.
Everybody good with that motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
All right. Thank you, guys. These will be formed up in a report. We'll take this to the board either in probably August, because I know they're really waiting on this. So we'll present this in August, and then likely what's going to come out of that will probably be some ordinance language will come back to you for an official text amendment. I'm not saying all these will come back, but some of
Gotcha.
these will come back in some various form.
All right. Do you have anything else under planning staff?
Just that the 2 rezonings, I have them written down on my sheet of paper over there, and I forgot to bring it with me. It's under my. So, Marcham, which was the landscaping materials business on Highway 75, you recommended approval. The board approved that last night. And Beulah Church Road, which was the commercial development that you approved some years ago, they wanted an amendment to, I think it was their hours of operation. You recommended approval, and the Board of Commissioners also approved that last night. And the data center text amendment will be going for public hearing at the board's August meeting.
All right. Sounds good. And just one last thing on that variance that we talked about, we're continued. Could you put some some work into finding out what's going on down there, any violations, anything? Is there, do some research on?
The rezoning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the rezoning, not the variance. I'm crazy.
So, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, if you
there-
could do that.
There are violations out there. Can
we find out what they were? I want to know what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Can
Sure thing.
Send it to the county commissioners with some kind of.
Okay.
sense.
Good idea, sir.
Is there a way we can say, we ain't moving this thing forward until you show up?
No, we can't do that.
No.
All right.
Well,
Yeah, we couldn't.
So you have 45 days to make a recommendation. And then so after that 45 days is over, it sort of falls in the applicant's lap at that point. If they want to still come back, they can. However, they can choose to move that application forward without a recommendation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor?
Sir, I compliment you. You did good. You did great, sir.
Appreciate that.
It's a beautiful job.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. When you turn that camera on.